Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. All right, welcome back to Digital Learning Day here at Chesterfield County Public Schools. You're right in the middle of our hour of culture. Coming up next is Sean Collins over at A.M. Davis Elementary. He's going to be talking to us about how to transform traditional art education with technology. Yes, you can use technology in a traditional art classroom. But we do have some additional information before we switch it over to Sean.
If you are participating live today in the session with Sean and you want to interact with him, we do have a back channel up. Here is Ernie Longworth with the cameo. If you go to this bit.ly link, bit.ly/DLDCCPS, all lowercase, there's a back channel document there, so you can type out any questions or wonders you have for Sean during the presentation. He'll either answer them at the end if he has time, or he can dial into it afterwards and answer your questions. Also, if you're only able to tune into this video today, but you want to see what else is going on, this is your one-stop shop. Everything is right here at this bit.ly link for any resources or presentations that you want to view today. All right. Thank you, Ernie.
It may be premature, but Ernie did award us with the Oscar for today, so no pressure for you, Sean. Like, we already have the award, so don't mess up, but I'm sure you'll do fine. So, all right, so we're going to switch over to Sean here over at A.
Thanks, Chris and Catherine. Congratulations on that Oscar. Some nice hardware there. Again, like they said, my name is Sean Collins. I'm the art teacher here at Davis Elementary in Chesterfield County, Virginia, part of Chesterfield County Public Schools. And I'm going to talk to you today about how I use digital technology in my art room. So let me switch over here and show you my screen. I'll show you how I have my room set up. So what I've got here is I've got my Promethean board. I have it hooked up with two different devices. I have a document camera and my laptop connected to it. The document camera, I connect it with a composite video cable, and the laptop's connected with a VGA or HDMI cable and a USB, which allows you to interact with the board. I have it set up this way so I can quickly switch back and forth between document camera and the laptop. Some people have their document camera run through their laptop and you have to change programs. I like to have a quick switch with the remote and be able to go from one to the other quickly. I use my document camera all the time. Let me show you a couple of ways I use it. Small demos, cutting, anything folding, anything small that students need to see my hands close up, I use it. Anything I do with clay, it's all in the document camera. It gives them a close-up view of what I'm doing with my hands, and it allows them to get a better understanding of what to do. I can statements, I have my students come up with them, and we write them together, and I write it out in my handwriting on a piece of paper under the document camera, freeze it on the board so they know what their I can statement is for the day. Lots of times I get student input for direction. So I'll go over the whole demonstration, then I'll have the students retell me the directions. I'll write all of them down in their own words on paper underneath the document camera so they can see what they're going to do in their own words as the day goes on. I also put examples up there. Sometimes some things are small. I'll put them on there, zoom in. It gives you a big screen that shows you what I want you to see in the example, and it prevents you from having to get out of your seat to come look at the board. Also, I put supply lists. I put that in quotation marks because what I do is I'll just gather all the supplies that they need. I'll put it on the table underneath the document camera. I'll freeze it so they can look up and see, all right, I need scissors and pencils and glue, and that's how they know what they're going to have in it, because a good visual cue for those students about what they need. Let me go through and show you some of the things I use in Active Inspire, which is the program that comes with the Promethean board. This is a flip chart I use on the first day of school, and I have all of the rules here. I have it set up so students can come up with a pin, they can select this arrow, and they can slide it across, and they can read the rules for the art room. So each student comes up, slides one across, and reads it. The next page, I've got a game that they play about the rules, which going over the rules of the board is part of the first day of art. This is a game that makes it a little bit more exciting. We've got a box here following the rules, not following the rules, and then 10 pictures. And if something is in the following the rules category, you drag it up here and you can play a sound that you're correct. If you put something that's not following the rules in there, there's no sound, so you know it doesn't work. One of the great things about Active Inspire is it's got this reset page button right here. It's a white sheet of paper with a red circle. Click it, and it reverts to the last time your page was saved, so you don't have to keep moving it back at the end of each time. This is a flip chart about Andy Goldsworthy. He's an artist, and we learn about him in conjunction with the elements of art. So I have several of his images on here, and I also have the 7 elements of art on the right-hand side of the page. Students can come up, they can talk, say, what element of art do you see in this image? And they'll come up and they'll say, oh, I noticed line and I noticed color. And then they can talk about how they see those in his art. And it's a good way for students to talk about what they know and teach the rest of the group. Here's one that's kind of zoomed out for some reason. I've got to reconfigure it. But this is a line chart that I use with first grade. One of their SOLs is learning varied types of lines. So this is an option for them to come up and draw different types of lines in each area. So horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and they can use the pen tool to draw lines on here like that. Next one, this is one that my students really love. In fourth grade, tessellations, we connect it to their math. And what I've done is I have a set of tessellations I ordered from Saks catalog. And I went on the Saks website, took the image from the sales page, and I took the different stencils and I use Photoshop to change them into PNG files so they have a transparent background. And I recolored them. So I have them set with drag a copy right here. So you can take your tessellation, your animals, and you can drag them up and create a tessellation as kind of a preview to what we're doing in the actual class with the stencils. I have them for each type. So there are more stencils than just these that I'm going to show you, but this gives you an idea of how the different translation, reflection, and rotation fit. And the last one is a rotation, which the students like. You can tap it with the pen and then hold this little curve, and you can turn your images different ways. The next one I'm going to show you is a game with second grade. We talked about warm and cool colors. I started off by saying we've got 8 pictures here of things that are either warm to touch or eat or cool to touch or eat. Sort them into the correct category. Then we talk about how warm colors are often the colors of things that are warm to touch, and cool colors are often the colors of things that are cool to touch. And we use this tool called the color picker, where you right click, or you on the Promethean board, you push the button on the pen right on top of one of these colors. Color picker tool is available, and then you can find a good orange, put it there. You can do the same thing for all of your other colors. And then after that, you can take this and you can rearrange your circles in different ways and do any kind of different game that you want with it. And then again, you can reset it with one click of the button. All right, I'm going to show you now how I use our one-to-one Chromebooks or laptops in my class in a portrait drawing activity or project that I did with my students. We talked about this artist. His name is Young Jake. He does these emoji portraits, usually of celebrities. And he also has a website called emoji.inc. This is what it looks like when you go on it. And you can enter by just clicking any emoji that you want. So let's go with watermelon. And then when you click your mouse and drag, it'll draw whatever you've got going on. And but one of the things we use for portrait drawing is this little camera right here. You click this, you can import a photo. You can import a photo, and then if you want to change your emoji, you can push a button on your keyboard and it changes your emoji to whatever you want. And the great thing is that they're organized by color. So you got red transitions to brown, tan, yellow, and so forth and so on. And you can use this button down here to adjust the size of your emoji. And the shift key allows you to get rid of your background image so you can see what you've actually done. Once you're done with it, there's a button right here, this little export button. Saves it, it pops it open in a new tab as a PNG file. Something's going on with my version of Chrome, so it doesn't work for me, but it worked for all the students. And they made some really great portraits. Here are a couple of them that you can take a look at. These are all 5th graders, portraits created and using Emoji Ink. In just about 45 minutes, they did all of this. All right, and so let me switch over here, and I'm going to tell you another thing I use in my art displays. So I like to use QR codes, quick response codes, in my art displays. I'll put them up to kind of give more information about the art that's on display. viewers or community members or whoever's parents, even other students can look at the work, scan it with a smartphone, and it will take them to a website. So with some of these, I've created videos of my students, and this is a little girl. She's talking about her painting where talking about primary colors and secondary colors, and it gives it kind of shows you the learning behind the artwork that you have on display. So that's a really valuable thing as an art teacher. You want people to know what you're teaching in your classroom, not just think that you're making cute art. There's actually a lot of content that goes on behind it. So I recorded her talking about her video, or recorded a video of her talking about her project. Then I posted on YouTube. I used I set the privacy settings so only people with the link can view it. Then I come in here, I click share, the URL pops up, I copy it. I go to a QR code generator. I don't have a specific one that I use. I just Google QR code generator. This is the first one that pops up. It's qrcodegenerator.com. Can't get more legit than that. Paste, and it generate QR code. And there it is. You can download it, save it as any of these image files, and you can print that out, put it with your art display. People can scan that and say, oh, now I know what this project is all about. You can use this for lots of different things. If you have artwork in a gallery, if you have a small space, you can only put up a few works of art, but you want to show more, you want to show the whole class. You can upload all of the images into an online gallery, post the link in the QR code, print it out, show it. I also use it for other online content. So we learned about Andy Warhol. We had a whole unit about Andy Warhol, and I posted a QR code that had a link to the MoMA audio tour for kids about Andy Warhol's soup cans. So they would scan the QR code, and then they could just listen right to the audio tour. It showed a lot of the content that the students were learning in right on a phone or iPad or any mobile device. All right, moving on to my last thing I'm going to show you guys is how I use Mail Merge to create display labels, notes home to parents, and show certificates. So those are all things that are very time consuming when you're doing a large art show. What I do is use Mail Merge in Microsoft Office Suite to make it a lot easier. You can do this in Google Apps as well, but I'm more familiar with Microsoft. That's what I'm going to show you. So what I do first is I make a spreadsheet, title 4 columns, first name, last name, grade, and project. And then I fill them up. I usually have a volunteer come in and put all of the names and grades and media in the spreadsheet. I email the spreadsheet out to teachers so that I can ask them to check their students' names. When you have 250 students are on display, you want to make sure their names are spelled right, but that's a lot for you to double check. Their teachers know it better than you do. I send it out to them. Then save it something that you know. Move over to Microsoft Word, and you start a new sheet of labels. So the way I do that, you go to Mailings, you go to Labels, and choose the label that you want. I like this one. It's 4 inches wide, over an inch tall, fits all the information, easy to read, nice and big. And you can click New Document, and this will pop up. Then you go in here and you click Select Recipients. You're going to import that list that you just typed in Excel. Just going to show you to make sure that's it if it's open. All right. And then you have merge fields right here. You can click first name, hit a space, last name, hit a space. The way I set mine up is first name, or name, grade, media, then my name, and then the school's name. And then what you can do is you can select it all, copy, and then right here in the second one, you click rules, next record. That will put the next student's name in this next label, paste all that content, copy it, and paste it in each of the labels. And then you can click finish and merge. I like edit individual documents so you can see that, make sure everybody's right before you print them. And you can see everybody's labels are done and ready to print. I do the same thing with Notes Home, which I have right here. And I do 2 notes on one page. Same setup, select Mail Merge, select recipients, insert merge field, first name, space, last name. Then at the bottom, I put the grade. It helps me sort out where they go when I send them out to classes. The second one, put next record in before you do everything else. Then when you hit finish and merge, there'll be 2 different ones on each page. Same thing. Let's see if it pops up. There we go. Everybody's got their own note. Last but not least is how to do a certificate. Our certificates are digital in Chesterfield County. Set up exactly the same way. Insert the first name and the last name on the merge field. You notice I have my signature down here. The way I do that, connect to the Promethean board, sign my name on the board with a pin, make a screenshot using the snipping tool, save it as an image file, paste it right here. Then all of our certificates are done and have everybody's name in them, and we're ready to go. I hope you learned something today. I hope you can use this in your classroom. If you have any questions, you can contact me, michael_collins@ccpsnet.net. And Chris and Catherine, that's all I've got for you. Turn it back over to y'all.
All right, thank you for that, Michael. You gave us a lot of great strategies to incorporate technology into an art classroom, not only at the elementary level, but I think a lot of the things that you showed could easily be adapted for middle school and high school as well. So thank you for all that.
Thank you.
Thanks. We're going to continue our culture hour. We're going to go to world languages. Deirdre Mercado, a Spanish teacher at Cosby High School, is going to show us how she creates and uses Nearpod with her students.